Your Excellencies, welcome to this session, which bears the motto of this forum, which we foresee the future and we're looking forwards to a green future.
ودود ولود قبض الإهاب موفور الشباب الخير منا وإليه الحديث هنا
The
بجانب
discussion in here
المتخصصين
with a couple of
الذين
specialists
يرعون البيئة
who are
بكثير
working
من
on the
ثمراتها
environment
ومعطياتها وفي المقابل مخرجاتها.
and its consequences.
أود الإشارة إلى أن ما تشاهدونه الآن أمام
What
أعينكم
you are seeing
ابتداء
now,
من المسرح
starting from the stage
الخزامة اللي على الطاولات
to the tables,
اللي
plants
موجودة على يمنة
around
اليسار
the
حولكم
stage
تراه كل من خيرات
are
هذه
all
الأرض الطيبة وهو الأمر الذي يدعونا للحديث باستفاضة مع ضيوف الأكارم حيال مستقبلنا وكيف نجعله
and
أفضل
how we can make our future green, not only for us but for the future generation.
أهلا بكم من قبل وأهلا بكم
Welcome.
من بعد. أبدأ معك دكتور أسامة.
Let's start with the Dr. Osama.
يجيك موضوع التصحر وموضوع التكيف مع تغير المناخ وما يتعلق بهذه الأمور.
We're going to discuss the desertification and we're going to discuss the program, the national program for afforestation. How are you dealing with these issues? First of all, it's necessary to go back to some necessary pillars. Is that the afforestation? There are 2,000 species of the plants and other related species. A lot of them are affected by the erosion in the recent decades. And the rationale behind this
فالبذور تنتقل إليها من خلال الطيور من خلال الرياح من خلال المملكة هباها الله بتضاريس مختلفة من سلاسل الجبال التي ترتفع 1000 متر إلى السواحل الرطبة إلى الأودية الداخلية. فهذه أوجدت بيئة ملائمة لكثير من أنواع النباتات التي استقرت وازدهرت في المملكة. فنحن في يعني مبادرة السعودية الخضراء
in this Saudi Green Initiative, we are going to work
وليس اختراع ثراء جديد هذه
on
لأنه
this initiative hardly.
ونرغب في استعادة هذا.
We desired to
الركائز الأساسية
the most important pillars
مبادرة السعودية الخضراء
of the Green Initiative, Saudi Green Initiative.
أنت من السهل أن تزرع
It's
أشجار.
it's it's easy to plant trees, but it is the matter of sustainability.
أول ركيزة أن نحن نستخدم
The first pillar is to use local
أخي الفاضل أنت
plants.
القاعة هذه كل أنواع محلية.
So how you can see now, all of these plants around in here are local plants.
الأنواع النباتية الحمد لله متنوعة
The local plants
وثانيا
are
تقليمها مع
very rich in here.
محلية وتتحمل
Uh, it is categorized by bearing
الركيزة الثانية استخدام مصادر مياه متجددة. التشجير
bearing drought.
ولن يكون على حساب احتياجات أخرى سيكون باستخدام مصادر متجددة مثل
We are
مياه
going to rely on renewable
معالجة مياه البحر
resources.
المنجروف يمكن مياه البحر أشجار المنجروف تعيش في السواحل وعاشت في الخليج
It
العربي
is
وازدهرت في البحر الأحمر أنواع من أشجار المنجروف التي كانت تستفاد منها بشكل كبير. هذه الركيزة الثانية. الركيزة الثالثة
the
المحافظة
third
على
pillar
التوازن البيئي.
is
ما معنى أن إذا
to revolve the environment balance.
تختلف عن أنواع تنبت في عسير أو في تبوك. فأنت لا تريد أن تخل بالتوازن البيئي.
You
فعندما
don't want to
تشجر
imbalance the plants. You want to plant the same species, the same local
الأشجار
species.
العرعر تنتشر في مرتفعات كثيرة، والعتم يأتي في
Uh,
مناطق منخفضة، السدر والطلح وغيره
Cedar
ينتشر في مناطق نجد، والأرطة وغيرها تنتشر في المناطق الكلبان الرملية. فالتسجيل يحافظ على هذا التوازن الإيكولوجي،
planting
لأن الشجرة لها تأثير على
maintain this ecosystem.
النباتات. فهناك ايكو سيستم او منظومه بيئيه
There is a balanced ecosystem.
هي جزء من المنظومه
It
البيئيه.
is a part of the ecosystem.
الرابعه
The fourth pillar is the partnership,
الجميل
cooperative partnership, governmental and private.
المجتمعات المحليه يكون لهم دور في اعمال تنميه الغطاء النباتي.
يمكن هذه اهم ركيزه ولا لا؟
اكيد طبعا، وهذه الحمد لله يعني وجدنا نمو كبير. الروابط الخضراء عندما أسست وزارة البيئة والزراعة كان هناك 4 5 روابط خضراء، الآن عندنا أكثر من 200. الجمعيات البيئية كان هناك
كم
حوالي
المدى الزمني؟
هذا في خلال 6 سنوات تقريبا،
ما شاء الله عليك.
7 سنوات. الآن عندنا كان هناك جمعيتين بيئتين، الآن عندنا قريب 50 جمعية بيئية. وهذا غير مشاركة الأفراد ومساهمتهم الإيجابية.
And the contributions of individuals. When we talk about also
كان الاحتطاب منتشر.
the wood cutting of trees, trees that are 200 years old, 100 years old. Of course, the culture has changed. Today, for wood cutting, there is a list, and also we contribute and play a vital role in, of course, sustaining and maintaining our trees and prevent wood cutting. Of course, wood cutting sometimes was through people who illegally would cut, but sometimes, other times, they take opportunities and seize illegal opportunity to become businessmen. And today, the lists for wood cutting has increased the tree planting. My brother, I want to tell you more about the carbon emissions in the world is 3 times more, 300% more. And now I'm going to talk about the vegetation cover. I'm talking about worldwide in the Amazon forests and whatnot. The storage of carbon is the vegetation cover after the oceans and after the airspace. The soil that is absorbed by the carbon affects positively the climate change, and therefore the vegetation cover is important to absorb carbon emissions. That also contributes to the diversity, biodiversity, and other aspects. Since you mentioned biodiversity, Dr. Abdul Qadir, Dr. Khalid, the CEO of NCVC at the National Center Combating Desertification and Vegetation Cover, how do you feel that the people have the priority and take it as a priority for the tree planting program, afforestation program? Do people acknowledge such arguments and tackle such arguments seriously and take them seriously? I think the community has a passion towards tree planting and also caring about the trees. The Arabian Peninsula's community is close to the nature, close to the trees. The Arabian Peninsula love Bedouins, love the desert, love the nature, love the trees. Of course, there must be, with or without awareness, some illegal practices such as overgrazing and some negative behaviors, wood cutting, for example, as Dr. Osama said, wood cutting and other, of course, practices such as planting trees in their inadequate environment or all this does not mean that the majority of the community is nature loving, and there is an increase of associations that advocate for nature and advocate for preserving the nature. We have launched as well since 3 years. It's called that contributes the associations in planting trees. Whoever takes initiative in planting trees since 3 years, more than 150,000 volunteers have volunteered to plant trees. Therefore, in the kingdom, we had 150,000 volunteers in ambition to reach 1 million volunteers by 2030. So people have a passion for nature and preserving nature and environment. There is a need, and we require also raising awareness as well, community engagement regarding planting trees and seed planting, collecting and planting. Sustainability is a factor, important factor, and enabler for the tree planting in general. In general, the illegal violations are controlled, are restricted. I think it has decreased. Today we have awareness and outreach programs. Are there fees? Yeah, of course, awareness comes before implementing fees and whatnot. So therefore, the kingdom has environmental awareness programs and many stakeholders have participated last week. Many stakeholders from various sectors. Awareness is important, but 99% of the community, of the people, and of the audience are interested. But I think there should be a 1% that could be a risk to the environment and may or may not practice some illegal violations. We hope that we could combat these illegal violations by implementing governance and rules and also fees for who does not who does not respect the environment. We should combat the illegal violators. Before moving to Professor Al-Khatib, you can participate through the QR code. You can scan the QR code and ask on. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to scan the QR code in front of you on the screen. And before the end of the session, we are going to take some of your questions. All right, Dr. Al-Khatib, Professor Al-Khatib, you play a vital role in the environment, agricultural sector, I'm going to give you an open question. How do you contribute to the Saudi national program, long or short term? Yasser, I want to talk to you sincerely. And in agriculture, in farms, it is easier than the production. We have the same ingredients, but sometimes it should be economical, productive agriculture. So it's not just about sustaining the tree, but also to have benefits, economical benefits from it. What have we achieved related to agriculture and planting trees? I'm not going to tackle other aspects, but I'm going to focus on tree planting. We have 78 million trees that have been planted. Most of them are palm trees, also olive trees. Olive. Grape trees, and also this could contribute to the food security of the kingdom. I'm going to recite a hadith from the Prophet, peace be upon him, that we need to plant trees and also sustain them. We need to sustain whatever we build and sustain whatever efforts we have exerted in the past. Of course, His Excellency Adel Jubair has focused on sustainability and maintaining long-term the resources, natural resources, from water resources, soil, productivity, and also contributing to economical GDP. We should have in mind the planting of trees that are that have benefits, economical benefits to us. How are we as a ministry contributing to all this? For example, tree planting. I have mentioned during the introduction what we have right now. The future 2034, the vision 2034, there should be an increase in fruitful trees, 100% increase. We have trees that are producing fruits, but I think they're in millions, but we need to double the productivity or double the number of trees that produce fruits. So the governance, other than funds, the funding, and also the encouraging of buying terrestrial areas and planting them in competitive prices. Also, having irrigation systems that work and are effective, other technologies also that we adopted in order to decrease consumption of water, and amendments, and also our dependence on the study of the species, flora species that are to be planted. So scientific research, most plants are C3 plants, and they are the majority and have effectiveness related to carbon absorption. So the effectiveness of these plants in order to absorb CO2 emissions have an impact, also positive impact to climate change. Of course, later on we are going to tackle as well the fruits and productive agriculture. This is the end goal. End goal is the fruits and not just the leaves. In general, we need to look at that, the enablers that the kingdom and the agricultural ministry work at in order to increase the productivity of fruitful plants. So this is a big and broad opportunity. You have shed light on where you're going. So Dr. Osama, my question to you is, it's taken for granted the kids and the raising of awareness. We are going to talk about paths, the kingdom's paths and the national program in relation with international efforts related to is there a tax that we should pay related to the correction of the path in international perspective? Of course, there are three factors that are in our concern. We have the atmosphere, the airspace. The airspace has oxygen, of course, and as you know, this oxygen comes from the ocean and the vegetation cover. So the water cycle as well. In the Quran, it's mentioned, the Holy Quran, from water comes everything to life. Everything comes to life, and therefore also water. The groundwater. How can we take advantage of and leverage our resources, water resources, groundwater as well? So there is a correlation between the vegetation cover and the water cycle. If we don't have a vegetation cover, we see that the soil is soil erosions appear and impact negatively this whole cycle. Of course, there is a linkage and correlation between these aspects and also biodiversity from the flora and fauna species, and it's all also related to the vegetation cover. And so there is a balance between all these. There is a correlation, and on the international perspective, there is climate change agreements. Climate change agreements is on the priority of many countries, but there is also another priority. In Rio de Janeiro, the year 1992, we have tackled the challenges of the industries from billion to 7 billion. So Rio de Janeiro, the summit has tackled the environmental aspects and its relation to and relevance to sustainability. So the climate change agreement by the United Nations and the biodiversity as well, and the desertification, biodiversity, Convention for the Biodiversity Agreement. So these three agreements have been launched and founded in order to accelerate the efforts, international efforts, So the climate change is a priority. Climate change, climate change, climate change. So we cannot be able to tackle one aspect or one factor and neglect the others. So the COP16 in December is going to be hosted by the kingdom, and it talks about terrestrial areas. What are terrestrial areas? It's the opposite of the airspace and the oceans, and 99% of the world food security depends on terrestrial area, and also whether it's water resources from rivers to groundwater, it is all related and linked to the vegetation cover and collection dams. We need to focus on our water resources. 14% of the emissions are from the transportation sector, and 19% is from the energy sector. So 24% is from if we focused on only transportation sector, then we are left with 36% of emissions, and therefore it's all related to the biodiversity, food security, and 60% of the risks on biodiversity is related to vegetation cover. What are terrestrial areas? Of course, we are talking about vast lands, and Dr. Al-Khatib has talked about the benefits for the ecosystem services. When we plant, we find jobs or create new jobs, and also contribute to the effectiveness of the soil, and also the cycle of the water, the biodiversity. And why do we care about biodiversity? We talk about biodiversity because the services provided to us by the biodiversity, for example, beehives, and the production of honey has a contribution to our GDP. Medicine as well. 25% of the medicine sector depend on the vegetation cover and depend on plants. Pharmaceuticals, 25% are from the agricultural sector. And if we talk about also the reef and the corals in the sea, there are also other benefits from that. And we have 90% of the agricultural sector has a contribution to desertification as well. We have a correlation between our achieving our goals and the agreements, the international agreements. The kingdom has not launched only the Saudi Green Initiative, SGI, but also the Middle East program, which is a regional, a cross-border regional initiative. So there is also the G20 international program, and so all the G20 countries have agreed in order to work hand in hand to related to corals in the sea. All right, Dr. Khalid Abdel Qadir, these challenges that Dr. Osama has mentioned, also the challenges that you face, how how are you going to face them, these challenges? And uh, all right, to start with, the governance. The legal framework that has been implemented. The legal framework is important to protect the environment in the kingdom, and the legal framework also contributes to. So there is. Ministry of Interior has a center for forest protection and a control room and center, and also we have transformed from wood cutting and illegal violations, and we move to, of course, listing wood cutting and also controlling and monitoring the illegal violations. We have transformed our Saudi youth in order to be supported by the kingdom to perform some of the activities such as wood cutting under the provision of this legal framework, and we have activated also collection of seeds, and we have seeds related to wild plants, and also planting these seeds, and nurseries. We have found nurseries, and also we've used and adopted technologies such as artificial intelligence to monitor and control the health of the flora species, and also we have adopted satellites as well. So in related to forests or coasts, we have also national parks that have increased. Now we have more than 500 national parks, and we have developed the vegetation cover, and also contributed in the development programs and the quality of life. And investors have had the opportunity in order to develop the national parks, also camping based on environmental standards. We have also some beehives, as Dr. Osama mentioned, that contribute to the GDP, and it has a fundamental role in the environmental ecosystem as well. Uh, from we pave the way for them in order to work in national parks, and present the opportunity, and for them to contribute to many aspects related to the development of vegetation cover. All these programs, in addition to scientific programs, research programs in collaboration with the educational community, academic community, and also a roadmap for genetic flora species in the kingdom, in order to study the wild flora species and know their growth factors, and also how to benefit from all these capabilities in order to contribute to sustainability in the climate, which is an arid climate in the desert of the kingdom, and also enable the growth factors for the flora plants. So whether from programs, initiatives, or scientific and research uh, conducted, we pave the way for mitigating the risks and facing challenges in order to achieve the goals for afforestation. 10 billion trees across the kingdom. We have now 18 million, 10 مليارات 10 million, 10 billion trees. That's the goal. So 2030, we are aiming to plant 600 million trees. So it is 400 million. The 400 millions by 2030, 400 million trees by 2030, and therefore we depend and leverage our resources in order to increase the monitoring and of the vegetation cover internationally, and at a local level we rehabilitate also the vegetation cover. We depend on all that to reach our goals. Of course, the residents, the citizens, and today morning you've asked me if I sent you a tree, would you be able to plant it? We have a production of nurseries. We have production.
وأيضا للمتطوعين.
We have founded the nurseries and also encouraged volunteers to participate and engage with us. I would like to thank all the citizens of the kingdom, the diplomatic community as well, people who volunteered with us. Of course, we need to be sustainable, maintain and guarantee sustainability, and provide care to these trees as well. So back to sustainability and the national afforestation program. Let me begin with some figures and numbers so that the sustainability image is clear to us. Water, for example, it is a fundamental integral part of the agricultural process. 1.9 billion meter cubic. Today we are talking about 2.2 billion meter cubic, which is not the same as we used to consume in 2016. So we are talking also about 65% of increase of water resources consumption. We used to use 21 billion meter cubic of water for the agriculture. Now we are talking about 10 point something billion meter cubic of water consumption for agricultural purposes. But now we have adopted innovative methods in order to maintain sustainability, guarantee sustainability. And today in 2024, 4 million tons of these contribute to food security and reaching the independence in productivity for food security. So in 2030, we have an ambition to reach 20 million tons of food production. So these all contribute to sustainability. Today, the agricultural sector depend on the private sector in its productivity, and therefore we have farms. I'm going to give for the olives. Olive planting is planted in vast lands. 1 hectare has 1,700 trees. So usually it's 300 trees, but today we are planting 1,700 trees in 1 hectare of olive trees. So today the ministry is looking at an agreement with academic community, International Center for Tropical Fruits and the International Center for Tropical Fruits in Malaysia, in order to adopt technologies, in order to plant mango trees in the kingdom and other unconventional tree plantings that may contribute to the food security. In 2019, almost the most funded programs were related to agricultural programs. So agricultural sector is growing at an accelerated rate, and we put into consideration the farmers in order to contribute to the sustainability. We have 9 different programs in the agricultural sector, and we have agreed with the World Food and other programs such as the REEF programs. These are opportunities that call upon us in order to invest in technologies such as vertical farming, and these also contribute to the sustainability and stability of the sector, and also a supply chain that is local and sufficient to the needs, to cover the needs. Of course, this is a green future that is bright green, that we love this color and this color loves us. So I'm going to take some questions from the audience, and as I concluded with His Excellency Adel Jubair, what is the key success factor, element of success? Professor Sulaiman, what is the key factor for success? Again, I'm going to answer with the same answer: sustainability of the sector. Any program is achievable by sustainability. No doubt that what the answers that have been mentioned by my colleagues, but the main motivator and motivation forward, it is the support from our leadership and the enabling of course, I think the support from our wise leadership, this is a big enabler. Of course, we cannot be able to achieve goals without the support of our leadership. Sustainability and taking into consideration the conditions, environmental conditions, and the engagement of the community. and stakeholders, and having a broad vision, a broad perspective. So it should be an integrated 360 outlook, whether through planting trees, or also not neglecting our responsibility towards climate change, and be able to have this integrated vision. All right, we have received a number of questions.
إجابة عليه يعني مثلا الدكتور خالد في أحد يعني السؤال حول التحديات الصعوبات.
The importance of the collaboration of different sectors. Of course, it is really important. There are some initiatives, whether private or general sector, whether voluntary work or non-government, non-profit organizations. There is also a really good collaboration, big collaboration from the private sector, from the investment contracts that develop the vegetation cover, and also from other groups of the vegetation cover development. These agreements are actually focused on the vegetation cover development and the plantation of trees. Professor Sliman, this question is on the which focus on the we have a program which deals with the the agriculture on different sectors and different I can't generalize, but I can name a few I will talk I will talk about the decrease in the produces that we red meat, for example. We import it from what we do in the green initiative has nothing to do with with producing red meats, but as mentioned in the figures. So the modern direction is we have equal to 500 tons of chicken importation from the and this is a great opportunity to which equals to 50 or 60 billion Riyal Saudi. We have a strategy to import fruits and to and the agriculture of fruits, retractable greenhouses. It is a great investment opportunity. We import 20,000 tons of strawberry. And this is a great investment opportunity. which could contribute to planting thousands of strawberry trees. I know that this question may have a long response, but tell us about the upcoming solution that the afforestation program is following. As I mentioned, it's all about benefiting from the existing resources. For example, there are regions that harvest water, and we collect water in mountains. Mountain regions can collect a lot of water for preservation of the environment. We give the soil a chance to recover, and we have seen many success from this. And these are all trying to balance between. Thank you. Our session has ended, and it was entitled "Towards a Green Future." I thank all the professor and the doctor, Abdel Qadir, CEO of NCVC, and Professor Suleiman Al Khatib, Assistant Deputy Minister for Agriculture. Thank you so much.